In a remote eastern corner of Botswana, the Mashatu Game Reserve.
Small, isn't he?
30,000 hectares of pristine wilderness and home to some of Africa's most iconic giants. It's one of the president's favorite places, even down to the bumpy tracks.
Yeah, but it's nice because you also have a good chance to see the animals. The roads are good and people tend to drive a bit faster and then you miss things.
Exactly. He jokingly calls himself Africa's biggest conservationist and takes the protection of Botswana's wildlife very seriously, not least because it's the foundation of the country's appeal to international tourists. To some, the government has put the conservation of animals ahead of the rights of people. It's involved in a long-running dispute with the San people, a tribe of hunter-gatherers who have lived a nomadic existence for millennia in the huge Kalahari Game Reserve. Back in 2002, when Khama was vice president, the government moved some 2,000 San from their ancestral lands. In 2006, backed by international activists, they won a court battle allowing them to return to the existence they have led for centuries. Khama denies the San were moved by force.
They were never kicked off. There was no forcible removals.
Khama says the San who have been relocated have been provided with housing and education at the state's expense. Khama makes no apologies for putting progress ahead of tradition, nor for forceful state intervention on social issues. His and previous governments have declared war on AIDS, using diamond income to set up one of Africa's most extensive treatment programs. International agencies estimate nearly 90% of adults infected with HIV have access to antiretroviral drugs, and thanks to education programs, the rate of HIV infection is declining. Now Khama is focused on the growing problem of alcohol abuse.
In going around and consulting people in public meetings, the overwhelming majority were in favor of government doing something to crack down on alcohol abuse and the problems associated with it.
His government then slapped a 30% levy on alcohol and reduced trading hours for liquor outlets. Khama's initial plan was to impose a 70% levy, something he says may still be implemented in the future. Some said the moves were excessive.
I'm not depriving them of their liberties because we haven't banned drinking. All we are saying to people is that, anything you do, do responsibly. So we've never even suggested there would be a total ban on alcohol consumption. That would then be depriving people of their liberties. And we know, and I admit it, that there are many other people out there who do drink responsibly. But then unfortunately there are those who don't. And when they don't, they affect the well-being, the welfare and the lives, including people losing their lives as a result of that irresponsible drinking. And that is what we are trying to curb.
The president puts in long hours and has a rigorous lifestyle. He doesn't drink or smoke, and he's never married. He says he would love to have kids but remains undecided about marriage because he does not want to embark on something that may fail. An interesting admission from a man who is used to success. That doesn't mean he has no diversions from the task of running a country.
The big attraction is just the fact that I enjoy flying. When I heard about these, I went onto the internet and got some pictures and information about these machines and decided to give it a try. So it's given me a lot of enjoyment and also a lot of frights.
It's called a power shoot.
Well, there's some in the government, the security detail are not happy about me doing this. But at the end of the day, anything you do in life, even if you're flying a conventional aircraft, there are always risks when you walk across the road, when you drive a vehicle, or whatever. There are always risks involved. You can't live in a cocoon trying to shelter yourself. And this is something I enjoy. And whether it's quad biking or going on game drives and what have you, it doesn't matter. As long as I'm not breaking the law, I'll do it. And these kind of activities are what I like doing. And also what helps to keep me sane in the job I'm doing as well. Something totally different from my official work.
And after all, he won't be running Botswana for the rest of his life. There's a strict 2-term limit for presidents.
I think it's important because one day you're no longer the head of state and life goes on. So I don't think that one should stop what one has been doing just because you're a head of state. You're a human being like everyone else, and there are certain things you enjoy. But I'm not talking about, ridiculous things that if you have to, of course, be conscious that people do expect you to behave in a certain way, and you can't just behave, any other way. But these kind of things, this is just sport and recreation that I do, and that's harmless.
But barring accidents and given good health, Ian Khama is likely to be president of Botswana for the next 9 years. Plenty of time to make his mark on a country already hailed as Africa's Southern Star.